Hi everyone, Sandra from ForYourChi.com, and this is your weekly tarot and oracle card reading for April 26th through May 2nd, 2021. Thanks for being here. I want to get right to my winner for a free email reading with the cards of truth before I forget. Sandra Pinnock, Pinnock, if that is your YouTube subscriber name, send me an email at foryourchi@gmail.com. foryourchi@gmail.com, and I will get your reading to you. Did everyone survive last week with the shady, shifty-eyed energy message that we received in the middle of the week last week? I can't tell you how many stories I've heard of people who got scammed by con artists last week. Now, unless you leave me a comment saying that that was you, most of these people in these situations do not watch my tarot readings. Otherwise, they would have gotten a heads up on that and had a red flag to not proceed with the deal. I want to give a couple of examples. So one person, I don't know her very well, but I went to school with her. She said that someone tried to gyp her out of a business deal with her business. And, she normally can smell that a mile away, but they came across so genuine that she did not realize it until it was too late. Another person I know had a hard, cold crypto storage device, and he called what he thought was the customer service line for this particular device, this company, because he Googled it and everything looked legit. And they always tell you to never give your information over the phone to these people, even though you called them, and he didn't. It was all given on an online, supposedly secure portal. But the fact is, he called the wrong number. And when he finally got a hold of the real company, they told him, oh yeah, there are at least 50 fakes out there that try to copy us and look exactly like us and look legit. And they did, and completely wiped out his crypto accounts. He had everything on that hard cold storage device. Not good. And then just before I came on to turn the camera on to do this reading, I saw an article in my newsfeed come up about a crypto exchange in Turkey that the owner has closed up shop and left with $2 billion of customers' money. Crypto. And then the icing on the cake was last week when my daughter told me that someone tried to use her debit card number at some company that she had her number stored in there, and the bank called her and said a person was trying to make a big charge, and they red flagged it and called her, and they caught it. But so the card Deception and Envy that we pulled last week ended up manifesting as a con artist. I hope that the people that watched last week did what I suggested. Return that energy to sender before it approached you. Drop a comment. Let me know what happened to you, if anything. Or maybe you avoided the whole thing. So speaking of avoid, we have another situation to avoid this week and the same time frame, midweek, but let's get to the Monday, Tuesday card. Conflict and defeat. We pull this card more times than not, don't we? For those of you that have watched me for years, you know that this card means walk away from any arguments, particularly the arguments that aren't making any sense. There is a time to stand your ground, and that is not right now. It's not going to do you any good to engage. It doesn't mean that you need to roll over and give this person what they're asking for or what they're demanding. It simply means that you do not want to have this conversation. Walk away. Can't talk about it now. Sorry. I have a hair appointment. Or something like that. Or you have to go bathe your dog. Now, because of the messages this week, I went right to the Archangel Michael deck. This card is your home is protected by angels. So if there's an argument about your home, regarding your home, surrounding your home, just know that your home is protected, particularly if you are calling on the protection, as I say all the time, and I specifically mentioned it again last week. Make sure you're calling on this protection every 12 hours. So after you wake up and before you go to bed, works out perfectly. You get in the routine of doing that. Your home, this home situation is protected, especially if you continue to call on that protection. Here's what I mean by avoiding this energy. Folks, this is the Devil card. We want to avoid this at all costs. Now, I feel like the oracle message this week is narrowing this message down completely. Forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. What does that mean? This person who has this problem going on will most likely try to blame something on you that was not your fault to begin with. They are turning something around on you and making you look like the bad guy here. Now, and this could very well be the same person that you dealt with Monday or Tuesday. Now you're getting blamed because you supposedly didn't do something, didn't interact, or didn't take the bait on Monday, Tuesday. That's not for everyone. That's for some of you. For others of you, this is going to be a completely different person and situation midweek, okay? Now, what's coming to mind, I have to tell you a story about this subject, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So one day, several years ago, my husband and I were invited to a party. I think it was St. Patrick's Day. And of course, the party started in the evening, but in the afternoon, I get this flash that I'm talking to the wife about her husband's compromised energy problem. What does that mean? That's my politically correct way of saying he's possessed by this energy. Now, when I say that, people roll their eyes. They think of the movie The Exorcist. It's not that way. It's not that obvious. Sometimes it's subtle things. Other times it's more prominent things. It just depends. It can be at all levels, though. And sometimes the levels may vary and change. In this flash, what I told her, the wife, was that the meanness that is coming from him and the things that he is saying to you that you think are coming from him are not coming from him at all, but it's coming from the thing that's making him say things like that. Is everybody with me? It's not the person, it's the thing that's talking to her nasty. Now, I don't get flashes and visions very often. That's not one of my gifts, although it's kind of hard to say that because it did come to me like that. So it's a very sporadic thing for that to happen to me. I'm more prophetic, where I will just get the information. It won't come in the form of a vision typically. So when I get a vision, that tells me that I need to pay attention and I need to address that person with the message as soon as possible. That's what that tells me. So it's very weird because I have certainly given that message to clients before in readings several times. However, this was a totally unsolicited message. She had never come to me for a reading before. She knew that I did readings, but it could definitely be awkward very easily, right? So I can't remember how I approached the subject. I believe that she brought something up about my readings, and I just laid this information on her, and I said, look, I had this vision. Your husband had a problem, talking nasty to you, starting fights, blaming you for things that are not your fault. And she looked at me and said, that's exactly what's going on, and it's getting very, very bad. In fact, it was getting bad to the point where she had considered the D word, divorce. And I said, okay, let's not go down that road quite yet. There's something that I can do. I will clear him for you. We worked out a price, etc. I did the clearing. He only required one session, so it wasn't that much. And the day later, 24 hours later, she messaged me and said, oh my God, he's like a new person. He's like the old husband. I'm not telling the name. He's like the old husband that I knew. And so, I know that it's working because I get a certain feeling that comes over me when I'm doing the work. So I always know that it's going to work to some extent, but you never know how much it's going to work and for how long it's going to stay that way. Because a person whose energy has been compromised for years and years and years, they can very quickly get back to, the energetic ditch, as I call it, downward spiral, where they acquire that same kind of energy and compromise all over again. Now, it's not the same identical thing because when I clear it, I also kill that energy, and not too many people that I know practice that. In fact, none of them do. Well, one did, not every single time, only rarely, and now she's out of business. Everyone else will just clear it. And I personally, if you've watched me before, you've heard me say that, I have a problem with that because I feel like it's an environmental type thing. To give you an example, if you pick up trash on the side of the highway, why wouldn't you just throw it away in the landfill or bring it to the garbage man? You wouldn't pick up the trash on the side of the highway, bag it up in your car, and then go release it somewhere else in a lake later on that day or the next day. Do you see what I mean? Okay. Sorry for going off on a tangent, but I wanted to make things clear of how this energy could possibly manifest. That's the message that I'm getting for midweek. So pay close attention and don't let this energy bombard you. Put your foot down and start demanding answers. Don't go along with this, okay? You've done nothing wrong. You've done nothing wrong here. So you need to call this energy out where you see it. And I'm not saying that you have to say exactly what this is. I'm just simply saying that you point out the inconsistencies in the entire situation and get to the truth of the matter. It's this person's fault. They could be an ex-alcoholic, they could be a current alcoholic, or a drug addict. If they're an ex-alcoholic or a drug addict, it's possible that they fell off the wagon. All right, moving on. The good news here is this weekend. Actually, I need to go with the Oracle card first. There is a lot going on this week. You just have to get through the business week, Monday through Friday, then detach from drama. Detach from this situation. Once you have cut your cords, if you don't know how to cut your cords, call on Archangel Michael to cut all of your negative cords in all directions of time and watch your energy shift. Once you do that and detach from this drama of the week, you have light. Light says prosperity and bliss are assured. You're having a fabulous weekend. You could be going on an extra long weekend, a holiday, taking a road trip, or something like that. It looks fantastic. And this card actually came out in the pre-shuffle too. So this card came out twice. I knew when it flew out of the pre-shuffle that we were going to see this card. So that is just exacerbating this message for this weekend. Congratulations. It's been a long 2 weeks and I'm right there with you. Many blessings to all of you. See you guys next time.